Welcome to Wealth Wednesday. It's Valerie Trent, the real estate investor CFO, and this is Wealth Wednesday, and I am excited. Thank you for coming, being on time. Awesome, glad to have you here. So yeah, what I try to do is touch bases with you guys throughout the week to just see what you want to talk about, and most of the time it's on the night of, which is what happens. And I thank you for asking. And additionally, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but you asked something similar. So I got both of these questions today, and I think it's pretty awesome, and I think it's very relevant to what we do so that you know how to make sure your profit margins grow. So the question was, I'm going to read it. How do I know what to pay myself as an entrepreneur and a business owner? And how do I feel worthy of the payouts that come from my real estate business? And he put in parentheses, which I didn't. I'm going to read it. He said, I think some people hear $10,000 and get excited. $10,000 a month and they get excited and they can see it. While others hear $10,000 a month and their brain shuts down. Can anybody relate to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I'm going to pause a minute and let that sink in. Because when you do real estate and you have had some successful deals, to throw around big numbers, it just is because of the nature of the product you represent. It's easy to do big numbers. But what we have to remember is not everybody is used to that, right? And not everybody feels worthy of earning that amount of money. Can anybody relate?
Yes.
Okay. But I'm going to go through how to do guilt-free pricing in whatever business you're in, and especially in real estate. All right, what first of all do you do? If you're catching it on the replay, I still would like you to answer this question. What is it you do in your business or in real estate, and how much do you charge? And if anybody on the call wants to answer that, that's fine. I'll pause and wait to hear from you. So if you're catching the replay, what is it you do and how much do you charge? Okay, nobody's answering me. All right, so we'll take it. The people on the call either are retired or are working a W-2 job, and that's fine. So feel free to answer that question. If you're on the replay, that will help me a lot. But what I will say is whatever you're charging, it's not enough. And people who work with me hear me say that, and they feel guilty about it or they feel bad, and you shouldn't. I just want you to, I'm going to put everything in context tonight. Whatever it is you're charging, it's not enough. And especially if you're looking at the marketplace for answers on how much you should charge. So a lot of times what we'll do is, I know I have a friend that has a lawn care business, and he'll be like, well, I'm going to charge blank, blank, blank per yard, $30 a yard or $60 a yard because that's what the market is pricing. And the mentality is if I go too high, then they'll just shop somewhere else. And that sounds logical, right?
Yes, it does.
But it's not.
It's not. Okay.
It's not logical. And I like I said, I do not teach to the 95% mentality. So a lot of times when I say things, I am well aware you may fight with me. Okay? And I'm okay with that. And it's okay to agree to disagree. I'm speaking my 2 cents. Remember, I'm not coming to you like I know everything, but I'm telling you based on my experience and the experience of the people that I work with. So the first thing you need to recognize if you're going to do business is your most valuable asset. There are 3 things that are most valuable to you. Your most valuable asset is your time, your knowledge, and your energy. I'm going to type that out. And what happens is you've been programmed to give that away for nothing. How do I know? You take a job and someone hires you and they say, listen, I'll pay you $18 an hour to suck up your time, your expertise, and your energy away from all things that are important to you. And you're like, okay. And we're taught that from school, right?
Right.
That is not the formula for wealth. The first thing you have to recognize, and the first principle I want you to walk away with is your time, your knowledge, and your energy are your most valuable assets. And you should recognize that and charge accordingly. The way you do that is to make sure you're delivering not goods and services, but you're delivering someone's transformation. So we're in an information age where people can basically shop YouTube or go on Wikipedia. We can look up anything we want. So we're not interested in a map, right? So if I say, hey, listen, you get to point A to point B, and I give you this blueprint or a PDF, and I'm like, okay, and you guys have experienced that from some of my courses, the free stuff that I give you. Here, it's point 1, point 2, point 3. That is the worst way to do business if you want to make money, because you're only delivering something that's going to ensure they fail. Because is it not true you learn from textbooks in school? Didn't they give you textbooks?
Yes.
And even some of us went to college, and they was like, okay, if you do this, this, and this, and this, it's going to turn out like this. And when you got in the real world, did it work out like that?
Not at all.
So we paid a lot of money to be given a map or a PDF or told to watch a webinar or go to a video. And subsequently, that is not the method that helps people. So if you are in construction or contractor and you go in and your motivation is to just solve a small problem, okay, so I'll put in your HVAC unit. Okay, so I'll lay your wood floors. That is a small problem. That is not going to solve something transformationally. Therefore, you're going to be required to do what? That a lot of times. And what's that going to subtract from you? Time, knowledge, and energy. And in order to make enough money, because you're probably not charging a lot, you're going to have to do a lot of that, right? That's why it's always tired, because he's performing at such a low level and not offering permanent high-level solutions. He has to work harder, do more. And a lot of times we have our philosophies on, well, what else is there? Because we're like, well, what if I don't get any clients? What if I don't make any money? What if they don't give me a referral? Because that's what most of us end up working off of when we're in business for ourselves. But here's the question. What do birds of a feather do?
Flock together.
So if you have a client who's cheap, don't want to pay, wants to suck all your time, energy, and knowledge, and they give you a referral, what's their referral going to do?
Do the same thing, exhaust you.
Exactly. And you're going to be exhausted. So my challenge is to, principle number 1, commoditize the most valuable thing you have, which is you. I always say the first piece of real estate you need to invest in is you. And that first investment is understanding what is your superpower. And I say that not to make that sound condescending, but what is it that you're so good at, that you've been through, you know the nuances, you've done it, you've got a t-shirt, and you survived. Not only survived, you succeeded. That is where you need to focus your area of transformation, not product and service. Is that the first thing? So once you commoditize and understand that value, then you can start talking about charging. And let me show you what I mean by that real quick. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Here's an example. Okay, so Miranda, give me an example of something that you provided as a service for free to your friends or family before.
My mobile notary signing agent.
Okay, so society will teach you you can only charge, and they do when you're mobile notary, limit what you can charge, so I get it. But what if you raise the bar on what it is you're providing? So, and you add to that consultation. When you do mobile notary services, tell me what is the outcome that they're hoping to achieve. And I'm going to show you how to price your services, which is why I'm asking this line of questions. What do they achieve when you notarize the document?
The completing of the task that they want, whatever they're trying to achieve.
How much give me one example of a notary and how much value comes from them doing it. Like, how much do they make? Does it put money in their pocket? I'll pick one if you don't.
When I'm closing for investors, per signing, if it's like 10 documents, I only get $5 per signature.
Right. And what do they get? What do they get?
For the closing of the property, they get the property itself, the property. Maybe
How much is it usually they take home, take away from the deal? Just give me an example of one case you remember that was on the HUD one.
49,000.
Okay, so the value to them is an initial $49,000, right?
Yeah.
And the ongoing profit from having that property, which may
Yes.
net them every year, what, maybe another 50 grand, right?
50 grand. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the lifetime value of your service is at least $100,000, right?
Oh man, yeah.
Okay, so when you price and you're pricing correctly, you're taking into account what is what I'm doing, putting in your pocket. It's called return on investment.
Oh, okay.
So if the return on your investment by encountering my service is $100,000, is it wrong of me to make 10 to 30% of that?
Not at all.
So you undercharged.
I really undercharged. I didn't.
You see what I'm saying? So in order to charge more, do I come to the table solving a small problem of, because you frame what you do wrong. I get paid $5 per signature, and that's what the state says. I get it. But what if you framed it that you're consulting and you add a skill set of how to make sure you analyze this property properly, that you're in partnership with the right people? What if you up-leveled your service to being beyond a signature gatherer? And you reframe it as, no, I'm not a notary. I am the person who's going to connect you to $1 million over your lifetime by making sure your documents are legal. I will review your documents. I will review, each of your candidates, and I'm going to provide my expertise based on my knowing how to vet people. And you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I increase the level of what I'm doing, because you're using my knowledge, you can't just get a signature. You got other stuff you do. You just don't label it, right?
Right.
Your fault. So now I'm not just the notary. I may notarize, but I'm doing more, and I assign a value to that by telling you this is what I'm doing, but moreover, your return on investment for me doing it will be $1 million over the next 10 years. So when I tell you my fee is 10 grand, am I wrong?
Not at all.
Do you feel guilty?
My time, knowledge.
Do you feel unworthy while they get to make $1 million, you get $5 for 10 signatures or 3 signatures or 1 signature? Are you freaking kidding me?
And that's on there. You gave me a bigger picture because I was going out analyzing and researching the documents.
Exactly, but you did not put that down. You have to make sure you don't just get a signature. You do. It's against the law for you to just get a signature. Right? Then you have to store records. You have a lot you have to do. Right? So if I don't understand my own commodity, my own value, the level of service that I'm providing, and I don't make sure you understand that, but I don't frame it in a way of this is what I'm doing. I frame it in a way and this is your return on investment. And for that $1 million, I'm going to charge you $30,000 because I usually get 30% of whatever I can get for you. But in doing this, the benefit is you don't have to worry about this coming back to bite you in the hind parts. I'm going to keep your records, and you can consult with me for X number of years, however long the law says you have to. You follow what you're doing?
Right.
Same service. You just add value to yourself. You see how you cheat yourself?
Thank you. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. So when you feel unworthy, it's not even a worthy issue. It's an issue of framing and understanding I am worth so much more than a market rate because I do more than a market service. But if you don't understand your value, are you going to charge your value? You're going to let someone else determine your value. Like, what's the medium salary for a researcher? I don't care what the medium value is. I don't consult that. I look at how much money what I'm doing will put in your pocket, and then I back up and charge you. Greg, does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. It makes perfect sense.
Okay. So when you're an engineer, understand if you're at work making 100 grand a year, your boss is making off your back about $1 million a year. I'm just saying. So really think about paying someone 6 figures a year, how much they must be making from your effort. Just pause a minute. Pause. Are you okay with that? So I'm going to bring it down a notch because I get I get irked when people think that they can come to me and not understand the value of what I provide and even expect me to give them the time of day. And I'll teach you about that in a minute. So principle number 1, please know that your most valuable commodity is you. Your time, your knowledge, and your energy. And you must set parameters so people do not steal that from your family or you, because you don't get it back. We don't get a redo-over button for time. All right. Principle number 2. The faulty mindset we have for principle number 2 is we have to work with everybody. So I'm going to tell you why I changed how I serve people, okay? So my mentor taught me this. This did not originate with me. I told y'all I hire folk all the time, and I'll teach you about that later. He says you're only effective if you're selective. That's not mine. I'm being honest. That's just not mine. Let me do, and for those of you that can see, let me tell you a little story about how I used to do business. So I was I've been in financial services since 2009. I really got my, investment license, and I really kind of went all in and really got angry because I saw the behind the scenes of, how it works with the, Wall Street and what products were not being taught, and I just got livid. So what I decided I was going to do was I was going to be the Paul Revere and run through the marketplace and tell everybody, hey, listen to him. And I would literally drive to people's houses. And I would spend hours at one. Now, think about the use of my time. I'm in my car. I'm driving to your house. You want to pick my brain, literally, and ask me 11,000 questions, knowing you have no intention of doing anything, right? But you want to know what you thought you wanted to know. And I'm going to tell you, because the more you pull on me, the more I'm going to give you. And I would spend hours driving to people's houses with people who had so much mental garbage because of how they were at that time that they didn't even have the wherewithal in and of themselves to think beyond the scope of job and instant gratification. But I wasn't selective. I told everybody because I thought everyone had to know. And I moreover went to people who were struggling, broke, busted, and disgusted folk, right? That's what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to give back to your community. I'm a comic. I get upset. Every time I think about it, I get upset. Y'all laughing. I wanted. I did it. I did it with some of y'all friends. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh my God. I would get home at midnight. I remember my husband would be like, yo, we just drove to New York to deliver some information and we get paid 50 cents to go deliver these kids' college. So that's all they would buy was a children's, insurance policy. And the toll to New York from New Jersey is $100. They was like, what did we just do? Because they were referrals of other folks. That was referrals. Y'all don't even understand. And I had a Hummer. I had a Hummer for 6 years. I drove my Hummer for 6 years. It cost me $100 every 4 days to fill up. I will never forget it.
I don't mean to laugh.
You go ahead and laugh. When I talk, when I share, and I try to stay behind the scenes as much as possible because I don't want people to know how mad they made me. For real, I don't. So
I thought it was something. I just thought it was who you were, and you just.
No, but I did it because it was who I was. But what no one told me was, you're only effective if you're selective. You don't work with everybody. So now you hear me say that, and you're like, why she always say that? Why she always say she'll work with everybody? Because I want you to know and I'll probably edit this out because you guys hear the pain in my heart. It's painful to think about it. People who just pull off of you and I'll tell you why that matters so much and why they'll never be wealthy, why they will always struggle, why they will never, ever, ever be successful. Why are you wasting your time? There's nothing you can do for them. But a lot of times our family and friends make us feel guilty because we owe them something. because we made the investment of time and energy and study and research and paying folks. So now you're obligated. I had a friend that had to cut loose because she felt.
But we were taught that. We were taught that too throughout. We were taught that.
I was taught you don't.
I was taught that. I was
you don't
taught.
work, you don't eat. That's what I was taught. But I didn't listen to that. I was like, okay, give back to your community. Go back and give back. They're not the poor you have with you always. Listen, I'm not social services. And the level of investment of information that I have isn't for everybody. So let me move on because y'all, can we just say my filter was pain? Can we just acknowledge that the elephant in the room is I'm mad? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little sensitive to me. So I'm going to probably edit that out. But I want you to hear me. So why I changed who I served was, here's the pattern of people that I attracted when I had the wrong mentality. I'm going to type it. They weren't committed. And I took it personally. Full of excuses. And excuses is a well thought out lie. If whenever you hear people making excuses, it's a well methodically strategic lie that you've told yourself over and over, and you have indoctrinated yourself to believe the bull crap is. And I'm going to leave it at that. They don't appreciate you. Do you think the people I stayed up late at night appreciated me? No, they took my information and did nothing. To this day, have done nothing. And every time I talk to them, they have more excuses. They don't show up. I'm telling you what I know, guys. You're only effective if you're selected. You know how many years I wasted time. They're chronic complainers. I'm tired. I was tired and I want my money back. I need a refund. I promise. What if I'm just telling you it's the mental garbage. Don't be mad. I'm not talking about nobody on this call. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you the pattern of what you're going to attract and why you get so burnt out. They carry a lot of mental baggage because they have been bombarded with the schools, their parents, their friends and family, and they believe wrong. And that's why they're freebie hunters. That's why they're always looking for the next big free lottery ticket or the next big piece of information. All I need is one more. Just shake those dice and no. And then they shop around for you. They will take your information and go out and give it to someone else who didn't make the investment of time. That didn't ever happen to anybody? Okay. It happens whenever you waste your most valuable commodity on this type of person. Let me tell you what else happens. I'm sorry. Then they cause you, because they don't pay you nothing, they make you work too many hours. I told you I did not get home. I burned out. That's why I actually retired early. I stopped working. In 2013, I didn't go back to work. I couldn't. I was burnt out. I was like, I don't want to see another person. Like, really, people like, you coming to my house? No, don't even ask me. You can meet me online. That's where I discovered Zoom, y'all. Now I regret it because I miss people. But I'm telling you, that's where I cut it off. I was like, if we can't work online, even to the point, that's how I do my real estate business. I will get you to do a house walkthrough on your phone. I am not driving out to waste my valuable time and you don't show up. I learned that real fast. I would rather you take my money than steal my time. My time is so valuable. I don't even hire myself out for my time. If I work a job or I'm at a job, it's because you're paying me to learn something that I'm going to use to make a whole bunch of money as an experience of immersion so I can learn something, right? And what you'll notice by having these people is you will not have large profit margins. So by having these people, what is a $20 client going to do for your profits at the end of the year? Is it going to help you?
Not at all.
So you spent how much time at a $5 Wait, let's go back to the notary. How many hours did you expend before, during, and after with record keeping for $5? Not trying to, rub the salt in the wounds, but you get it, right?
Yeah, I do.
So it's not about worthiness. It's about what is it I'm doing for you and what is your return on investment for having encountered me. Yeah, can you hear me? Is this resonating or is this making any sense? Okay. So when you go out and you do a contracting job for someone and you charge $200, but it took you, maybe even $1,500. but it took you hours away from your family, or the time you know, were off work, you should have been sleeping, or you could have went on vacation, and the people you're working for make how much?
Infinite.
Infinite. So instead of framing myself as I'm a contractor, I would never say that again, ever, ever, ever. I would come up with a new title, and I would define that title as, here's what I do. I help you make an infinite amount of money by making sure you pass every inspection, making sure you're timely in, you know, your deliverables. I do project management. I do whatever it is. And for my service, I charge 50 grand. Payable at the HUD is fine. But what you will get is a transformation, not a product or a service. I'm not nailing nails and laying floors. What I'm doing is making sure you don't get splinters, or your family can, you know, not have water damage, or this is, you follow how we're reframing what you do?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I can charge based on how much, and the formula that I gave earlier, how to know how much to charge is, I look at my return on investment. If I invest my time, what is this going to net you in profit? So for most real estate deals, you can make between 10 and 50 grand. So I'm never going to charge less than 3,000 to whatever 30% of 50 is, which is 15,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't blink an eye about doing that, because I know how much money is attached to real estate deals. I'm not batting my eye when you ask me how much I charge, because not only are you going to get to do the first deal and make that amount of money, with the knowledge that I'm giving you, you get to rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So I don't charge enough. That was the first thing I said, is whatever you're charging is not enough. Whatever I'm charging is not enough. But what I can guarantee you is I'm not delivering you a map. I'm actually holding your hand and I'm walking you through so that you go through the nuances. You know how I think. You'll know how to troubleshoot. And you're going to survive, not just thrive. You're going to survive this, and then you can rinse and repeat, because I'm going to change your life, because you're never going to be the same again. Is it a worthy issue, or is it a deliverable issue?
Deliverable.
I can deliver, because I've been there and done that. You can deliver because of what you've been there and done, but what you had a problem doing is looking at what you do and how much other people make from it and changing what you charge. It's called return on investment. Now, I'm going to go to another principle that'll help you do that and know that you're doing the person you're doing that to a favor, right? Principle 2 is you're only effective by being selective. Do not work with everybody. It keeps you from needing a lot of clients. How many of you heard me say I only work with 10 people a year?
I have.
Okay, that's all I work with. I don't want no more. Hold on. How much more effective can I be if I have to charge someone $500 to work with them? Miranda, you can speak because of the researcher group. How much more effective can I be if I charge you $500 and I have to work with a whole bunch of folk asking me a whole bunch of questions, versus charging you $15,000 to $24,000 where it's just you and me for the next 3 months by yourself? Who's getting a better experience?
The smaller group, the one
Exactly.
hand
I
down.
can deliver at a higher level by working with you one-to-one than trying to fit in a whole bunch of different clients. So you get a better experience.
Yes.
Then it keeps me from, because most of the time if I'm delivering a high-level result, it's going to take me time.
Yes.
So then I don't have to run around and try to find another client, because I can pay my bills with whatever it is you're paying me for the next whatever. So now I can just devote my time to you. My bills all caught up. I'm good. Let's focus. Let's get this done so we can make some more money. And so what you're going to be able to do is get people superb results. They're going to value you. And are you able to be shopped around when you deliver that kind of deliverable?
No.
You can't go out and find another person to replace me. Good luck. Well, the market charges, $150 for this an hour. Okay, good luck. Because they don't do what I do to the level that I do it. So it doesn't become an issue from, me feeling like I have to overcome any mental baggage, because I know what you're getting. It also gives me a longer period to serve. So this keeps you from needing a lot of clients. It keeps you from having to deal with short engagements, client engagements. It keeps you from getting minimal results, meaning you'll get bigger results.
This is in the replay. This will be in the replay?
I'm going to make a replay. You need a replay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I try to add value. And this is the free stuff. Imagine if you pay. I'm not talking to you. Just saying. This is my free stuff.
This is what you call free stuff. I said people get this for free.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, and the other thing is they don't value you. They shop you around.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, having to do this, you won't have big profit margins because your little $20, $150, $1,500 client is not going to help you have a big profit. You're going to have to, you sacrifice your whole life. So I want you to stop doing this, and I'm going to go to the next point that you need to make the mindset shift with. Is this helpful, guys?
Very helpful. Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am.
What's helpful about it? Can y'all give me some feedback? I hate talking to myself. That's why I do Zoom. What's helpful?
I think the most important thing is just understanding that you have to, you said it, I mean, it's very succinct, but just getting it in, the fact that you have to be, you can't be effective if you're not selective. I mean, it's like you're spreading yourself all over the place, trying to service everybody, and the people you're trying to service don't really, at the end of the day, want your service. So you have to be selective about who you are working with. So one, you can be effective, and two, you can it benefits you. You know, from a monetary standpoint, you know,
Right.
you get the most bang for your buck.
And the monetary part is a byproduct, actually.
Exactly.
It follows automatically because the type of people you attract don't mind paying, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Principle number 3, you won't know what it's like, I'm typing, to receive money if you've never spent it.
If you don't spend.
The reason I don't have a problem biting my tongue to charge people what I charge is because I have paid almost $300,000 for my education between 2000 and... I've been paying forever, guys, since the 80s. I swear to goodness. From Carlton Sheets, I had his course. I have paid for real estate. My first, real in-person one-to-one mentor, William B. Thompson, to... I have paid, y'all, I paid 80 grand for my franchise. Y'all didn't know I have a franchise. $80,000.
I have paid.
I don't flinch. Do you understand? But the reason I don't flinch is because I know what it's like to have that pit in your stomach, not really know if they can deliver, and hand over a check. But there's a way that you don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to tell you that in a second. So cheap people will never become wealthy. Why? People who don't invest in themselves will never become wealthy. Why?
They don't see the value in it. They don't believe in themselves.
Imagine if you're trying to design a high-level product. One that you want to sell at Tiffany's, a piece of jewelry. And you're around collecting rocks from all 4 corners of the globe, and you got some whatever that stuff is, that molds it together, and you nail it and you pack it in, and you're like, it kind of looks shiny, and you try to present it as this major awesome product, but you got it from all kind of different pieces, and you want to call it valuable. That's what happens when you're a freebie hunter. You running around trying to piece together this course and that person's opinion, and you got a monster. Does that make sense? So if you're not willing to take the time and invest, imagine trying to learn martial arts or a specific form of martial arts from YouTube, and you think you're punching right. I'm looking at you do it, but I don't understand the nuances or the force behind, or that it's more of a pressure point. But I'm looking at YouTube. I'm doing what they did on YouTube, but you're doing it wrong. And then you go out to get into a real, whatever, you're going to get whooped. And that's a lot of times what we do when we're freebie hunters. So if you've got that eclectic monster that you're building, it's no value. And 9 times out of 10, anything that's public is probably not the real deal. They'll tell you what they will need to tell you for you to buy something, but true insider secrets are shared behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me, look at mainstream results. If the stuff you watched on YouTube or learned in a RIA group worked, why ain't it working? Why do only 14% of real estate investors, actually 5% of real estate investors succeed? All of y'all are members of RIA, the real estate investment groups, for those that are listening.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate agents, why only 14% of you succeeding? If it works so well, it doesn't work. And so a lot of times, in order to benefit from what it is you're missing in knowledge, you got to make an investment. And you got to find someone who's been there, done that, but will allow you to come in and immerse you in, let me show you what happens when I'm not telling you what's happening. You need to see what's really, really happening. Well, I may not even be able to tell you. Just come with me. Let me show you the nuances, right?
The how. That's
Or if you do this and got this resistance, your textbooks from real estate school aren't going to tell you, well, try this.
Mm-hmm.
Based on your personality, I think you might need to do this. It's not going to do it. YouTube can't help you with that. So you need to make the investment in someone who will hold your hand and deliver your transformation specifically to you. Go from offering products and services to making the mindset shift that you must make an investment in yourself with a system that will handhold you through the nuances. It's not about a textbook. It's not about a CD. And that's what the gurus sell when they go from city to city. Hey, buy the CD package. The CD package is going to tell you, then you can get on our group call. And we'll do a group call at once a week, and you may get your question answered. I'm me. I have my own set of stuff. And sometimes you're going to have to pay for that mentorship. So if you want to know what it's like to charge the money, you're going to have to spend the money. You've got to become a premium client yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can never attract people when you haven't spent it, because they can smell you a mile away. Imagine trying to fix your mouth to say, hey, listen, my services are $30,000.
You haven't spent that yourself.
You ain't going to say it. You just be like, it's $3,000. But your return on investment is still infinity. Why are you having a hard time with that? And I'm not saying you have to spend $30,000. Guys, I was, yeah.
Exactly.
You just need to be willing to spend it. If you run across the right program, have the mentality that, and I'll tell you why in the next group of questions. So you're going to invest in systems that follow the rule of wealth. So the principle number 4, and this is a rule of thumb. It's what wealthy people refer to as a return on investment, right? But when wealthy people spend money, and this is why they have no problem investing in themselves, Warren Buffett will tell you the number one investment you need to make is in you. But here's why. When you spend money, look for ways, and that's on any luxury item, any boat, any car, any business, any house. When wealthy people spend money, the first question they ask themselves is what? Try it. I'm not going to fuss. What is it? What is the first thing they say to themselves?
How can I get a return on this investment?
The first thing they ask themselves is, how can I spend money on this and make this make me money, reduce or eliminate my taxes?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing they ask. How is spending my money on this product going to make me money? So if they get a Lamborghini, that's why you see people bossing the Bentley, or, right, because they're recording video logs, they're recording content, or they're using it in a marketing video, right? It's not just there to look pretty and to just consume. And the problem with us is we're consumers, because we don't understand that when we're trying to add value, or we exist to make a profit or return on our investment, we can use it to make us make money. If I'm renting, how can I rent this? How can this rental make me make money? I can rent out a luxury car I have. Y'all know that there are services that'll let, on the weekends, they'll pay you top dollar if you have a sports car for them to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Your house, Airbnb, HomeAway, VRBO will tell you in a minute. Got extra room? How can you make this make money for you and still enjoy nice things? Boat, car, rental, house, etc., etc. The first question a wealthy person asks is, how do I write this off? How do I make this make money for me or reduce or eliminate my taxes? And you need to do the same thing. Got it?
Got it. That's it.
So if I'm buying a system, guess who's the first one to pay me for my system that I buy? How can I not lose? I don't care if the person sucks. If I'm investing in a system or a course, guess what I get to do?
Write it off.
Write it off.
There we go. What happens if I don't invest in this course?
What happened if I don't?
Mm-hmm.
I don't gain the knowledge and I still don't get to write it off. I don't gain the knowledge.
Now the money that I didn't spend on this course, what happens? I get taxed as what? Income.
Income.
Holy moly. So you mean to tell me that if I hold on to the $15,000 you want to charge me, I look like I'm holding on to it, but instead I'm paying taxes on it at my marginal tax bracket because I make too much money. Y'all wonder why y'all taxed to death. And I don't have no knowledge. What you don't allocate gets taxed as income. Is that okay with you?
Write it off.
That is the mental shift you need to make. So if I can walk away, even if you suck, Uncle Sam's going to pay you for sucking, pay me for investing in your sucky course. But there is something I'm going to be able to take away that's going to take me to my next level. There's no way you suck that bad that I can't benefit from what you did. Somehow. But if you did suck, is it a write-off?
Yes, it is.
Suck on, baby. Suck on. Here you go. Here you go. Because remember, I told you guys, if you know my story, I started off making way too much money. But I didn't understand unless I allocate that money to something else, be it charity, be it business expense, be it continuing education or an investment in my expenses for my business. Uncle Sam be like, okay, yo, you want to just make the money? All right, give me 39% plus an additional, you get it. But if I can turn around and say, not only can I walk away with, or not only can I outsource this job to, Uncle Sam will pay me to do that, and I can take it off my plate. And I can gain this knowledge. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
When you don't charge people, you do them a disservice because now they get taxed as income and they still don't have what they need to grow. That makes sense, Ralph?
Yeah, it does.
So you feeling like you doing somebody a service by helping them out, number one, they're going to drain the life out of you because you're not selective. You're working way too hard because in order to make money, you got to serve too many people, right?
Yep.
I got to do too many times. Like, dude, I ain't got so many hours in a day. So all I have to do is take what I'm already doing and up level what I'm doing by calling it something else. Because now I look at your return on investment. So Mr. Investor, Miss Investor, here's what I'm going to let you do. How does that help them, Ralph?
Gives them each peace of mind, I believe.
No, it helps them get a write-off. Because if they pocket the money as an investment, don't they have to pay the capital gains? Why don't you just snatch some of it back? Yo, why don't you allocate this over here to me and you get to write it off as an expense? Because you're not going to profit. The more you make, the more they take. Especially if you're a wholesaler. Because if you're a wholesaler and you do a deal, owner financing deal, when we go to the HUD and it gets filed on record that you bought the house for $250 and it was only let's say I made $100,000 profit, but I'm going to make that $100,000 profit over 20 years. Uncle Sam says, no, you owe me that $100,000 profit this year, right now. Because they can't defer taxes on deals. You can't do 1031 exchanges as a wholesaler. Why wouldn't you charge them to say, yo, listen, you can pay this tax on this $100,000 or you can pay me and have me written off as an expense and put it back in your pocket in April. Greg, help me. You got that analytical brain. Help me.
If I understand you correctly, basically you're saying that the profit that you make, if you don't reallocate it or use it, they're going to tax you. They're going to take 40 cents for every dollar you make.
Right.
But if you turn around and invest it in yourself, then they can't take that 40 cents.
Right, because it was, right. So you are so, I love your brain. I love your brain. So if you say, listen, a line item on this HUD is me, and my line item is 30 grand, do they lose 30 grand or do they get it back as an expense right off?
If they do it right, they get it back as an expense.
Hello, I said hello.
I think the mental leap that some people struggle with is the fact that, like you say, we're consumers. So we're looking at, I'm losing 30,000. And it's that, like you said, it's that mental shift. No, you're not losing 30,000. You're saving 40% of your 30,000 by reallocating it.
Exactly. You're getting it back. Plus you get the knowledge.
Plus the knowledge, exactly.
What?
So the return on investment is crazy.
And so consumers and W-2 employees and people with businesses that don't know how to do a tax plan skip the sexy. You skip the sexy. Because if I could show you how much money you're leaving on the table, and when you are in real estate, you don't even have to spend money to get a write-off. You get to allocate non-cash assets. But you're so afraid to pay a tax planner that you get the write-off anyway to show you how to write off non-spent money. What? What's wrong with you? So then you get taxed as income, and then you hollering about your being broke, busted, and disgusted because the more you make, Uncle Sam, like, cool, I'll just take it. And you still don't have the knowledge. And so you work too long. You lose too many hours. And I know I'm supposed to be calm and professional. I just want to, y'all, try to work on my delivery. I do.
So the example you gave as for the wholesaler and this one that's getting the write-off, you talk about two different people or the same person?
Okay.
Myself as a wholesaler looking at that and telling me to write off his taxes, or as to me as a contractor talking to an investor?
Okay. Both of you win. Both of you get the benefit. Okay. You get the benefit because you're in business, right? You earn the $30,000 from that deal as income. That's your business. But when you're a business, you get taxed after you spend everything, right?
Okay.
So though I earn $30,000, I can write off a couple things. The mileage that I rode to the site with every day. I can write off the materials. I can write off the labor that I had to hire to help me. I can write off, the stuff that I keep at my house, my cell phone. You follow me, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I got 30 grand that I've written off, most of it to all of it, especially if I'm in real estate. I don't pay any taxes. Then the person that's the wholesaler, instead of getting the hit on earning 100 grand, 30,000 of that went away to you, right? But aren't you an expense to their business? So they get to write that off. It's not a loss for them. It's a loss for them if they keep it. Do you follow me?
Right. Yes.
Did I lose you?
No.
Okay. So as much as you can show business owners how to allocate to growing and being sustainable, Uncle Sam says, I am your largest investor as long as you do a great job and you invest in your business so that you're tip top, you're making an impact on society, you're doing the best things. I will pay for your continuing education. I will pay for your company to scale and get bigger and outsource and create more jobs. But you don't think like that. You're like, no, then I need this because I want to go to, Disney World this year. And then my wife be wanting the new Louboutin shoes and the bag, the Michael Kors. Don't do that. Understand the dance between exchange and the energy flow of money. You write off what you use to grow and scale your business. They benefit by imparting the money to you to become experts and better. Uncle Sam partners with them as well. Does that make sense? So it's a win-win, and it's a win for the America because you have a sharper, more sustainable, and awesome business. Because now you have a little bit more knowledge on how to do it a little bit better. America wins. The wholesaler who gets killed in taxes win. Wholesalers is the worst way to do real estate investing because they're taxed as a regular income earner. They have no breaks. So if you can't teach your wholesalers how to invest in themselves, their net profit at the end of the year, it sucks. They'll never tell you that because they cannot take advantage of all the benefits that come when you structure your business properly. And that's what we were going to talk about, next weekend, the second weekend in June when we do our live. The sexy part of understanding how to set yourself up so that you are winning at the end game. Then back up and go play the game. But the objective is to pay zero taxes. now, ongoing, and in the future when your kids get it. But there's an exchange for that. Uncle Sam says, I don't mind foregoing the taxes as long as you're adding jobs, you're outsourcing, you're becoming more expert in what you do. You're creating the circle or the cycle of money. I don't mind foregoing your taxes. You'll pay them when you get gas, when you go buy groceries. But for the purpose of growing your business and investing and becoming better, I'll cover that cost for you. Crystal, we good? All right. So hopefully I've answered your questions about the dance of investing in yourself.
Oh, I'm seeing it much more clear. Definitely.
Okay. And so it helps you get over your mental garbage, right?
Yes.
Let that garbage go, because it's not about who can avoid them or evade taxes. It's the partnership of the IRS to make sure you guys do. Y'all ever seen government housing?
Oh, yes.
Okay, do they do a good job?
No.
Who does a better job, investors or government housing?
Investors.
All right. So the government said, I'm going to incentivize you to do better, be better, grow better, so that we don't keep making this mess. Because I was turning into projects, and that's not what we want. Go in and develop our communities, be great, create sustainable housing, do private financing, go do what you do. Pay the money to learn how to do it well. We'll cover you. So that we don't have to do the mess we do. Anything government, you can go look at the army barracks. I promise. You ever seen where the people live in the army? They don't keep them up. It's leaking roofs. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. The government wants you to do what they don't do well. And the only way you're going to learn to do it is invest in the education, right? Okay. And in exchange, the government says, no problem. You may have a W-2, but I'll let you offset your W-2 earnings so that you can put it in your business and I won't tax you. Go change your allowances at work. And with that, you use your withholdings calculator at the irs.gov, and it'll say, stop overpaying in taxes so you can use it to grow your business. IRS will tell you, I'm killing you in taxes. You're paying too much. Withholdings calculator. Let me write that down. Y'all need to, those of you with businesses on the side, go back and change your allowances at work with the withholding calculator. And it's at irs.gov, and the first thing they tell you is if you got a refund, we charged you too much in taxes. It's the first thing they say. irs.gov will tell you. Just go to the search bar and type in withholdings calculator, and you guys need to go redo your income. And what that'll do is reduce your W-2 withholdings, and with every allowance comes more money in my check, right? And the money in your check, if you take that money and go invest in something that's going to grow you, you're going to be like, whoa. You won't be the same. All right. The way to make money, principle number 5, money is made by helping, because I know you're like, well, if I can't serve everybody, who do I serve? By helping already successful people reach their next milestone. So who are you targeting?
People that are already established.
Already established people, because how did they get that way? Did they get that way by accident?
No, they invested. They learned. They got the knowledge.
They already have the mentality that it's gonna take showing up. It's gonna take me doing the work. It's gonna take me, but perhaps if you have one more thing to make it a little easier, I don't mind paying for it, right? And because you're not doing the work playing social worker or psychologist, they're pushing, they already have that drive, right? So it becomes easy to serve them with your level of expertise to say, I think if you tweak it just this way, you'll be fine. And do they have a problem paying you?
Not at all.
Not at all. And so the type of clients, how they look, what do they look like? They show up. They go all in.
Oh, that's the term.
I'm telling you, you ain't got to show up. They'll show up. They're like, we meeting today? What you look? This cost me too much money. What we doing? Where you at? What you need me to do? It's no. We need a refund. No, they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. You get to work less. Because how many people do you need if they pay you? Let's just say $10,000 for your services. How many clients do you need to make 6 figures a year? Anybody? How many people do I need to work with to replace my income of $100,000?
5.
All right. I need 10 to make 100,000. But that's why you hear me say I only accept 10 clients a year. One, I give at too high of a level to serve a whole bunch of folks. I can't do it. I can't. So when I tell you I only work with 10,000 a year, 10 people a year, I'm not exaggerating because I mentally cannot do more than that. And so if I charge more than 10,000. But if I charge 20 grand and I serve 10 clients, that's 200 grand just from that level of my business. Am I okay? Am I all right?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'm all right. But what are they getting in exchange? It's not about what I charge, it's what they're getting. They get to rent and repeat. Y'all heard Doubting Dave say, listen, I made more. You didn't hear it. I shared this with some of my clients. He's like, I made more money in the last 3 months than I made all year at my job. But he didn't just make more money in that few little bit of time. He gets to rinse and repeat. He has that knowledge forever. So if I charged him what I charged him, which I promise you was not enough, I promise you. I cringe every time I think about it, but it's okay because I still serve him. Whatever you work with me, you get me for 6 months to a year afterward, depending, because your success is just what I want. I won't tolerate you failing. It's just not going to happen. So I still show up to work with him. That payday was over a long time ago, but I'm that committed. And so therefore my clients get stupid results because they can't fail because I'm teaching in an area that I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
And you're going to do the same thing. So I work less with fewer people, serve at a higher level, right? But I make more money doing it the traditional way. I don't need a job. I just need to identify who I am, what it is I'm doing, what's your ROI, and why we should work together. Was this helpful, guys?
Yes, very helpful.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So what we're going to do at our mastermind is I'm going to show you exactly how to put together your offer, how to contact the people you already know, tell them again what you're doing, and charge. It's going to change your life. That's why I'm telling you, you guys will not walk away from that event and not make any money. It's impossible. The problem is you don't know how to reframe what your business is doing so that it serves you. Do you think a mentor can help you with that?
Most definitely.
I do it. I live it. I breathe it. I eat it. I chew it for snacks. That's what I do because I woke up one day and realized I was serving the wrong people. I did not understand that I was the first piece of real estate I needed to invest in. Therefore, I didn't know how to present myself as an investment or why you should invest in me and what my return on investment is. I will show you how to do that. I will show you how by positioning to never have to cold call anybody. You better not. It's about positioning. They're going to call you, right? But until you get a grasp on how awesome you are. So Miranda, if you wanted to go back to that notary, you actually can do that. I will show you how to reframe what you're doing and say, hey guys, if you want someone that's going to manage your files for the next 7 years to make sure you're audit proof, to make sure we vet this, we do, you know what you did. Here's the new service that I offer. It includes notarizing documents. It includes record keeping. It right, Miranda?
Yes, most definitely.
Most definitely. But that's something you love doing, right?
I do enjoy it.
So for the signature part of it, we can justify the little stinking $5 is built into the fee. But the fee is not $5.
Oh no, I have to tell you a little more afterwards. I'll show you.
It's still small because
It's still small. It is still very small.
It's not worth the time of gas it took you to go over there.
Thank you. And that's why I'm not doing it right now.
No, that's why you can do it. But do you see the value of having someone come in and show you how to just up level your life? You already got the skills. And this is who my favorite client is. People like you, boss babes. You're already a boss. You just don't know how to reframe it. I love successful people.
And that's why I would like to hire you. That's why I love to hire you. It's my mentor coach.
I'm going to get some folks to hire you. But we're going to get it because I didn't know that. I forgot. Listen, we'll talk offline. We'll talk. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm going to teach you how to do it remote. You don't have to go.
And I've also been doing it electronic, so I'm getting more laws here and there to do it electronic. We'll be certified to do
Can
electronic.
I get some high fives?
Yes, I've been doing it for years.
But she did not know how to position it so that it funds her desired lifestyle. And we're going to change that immediately.
Thank you, because more of a light bulb did pop up, Valerie, as you were talking, because I really didn't get it. I'm going to share with you. You share so much valuable information. Very, very. All the information you share is very valuable to me.
Well, thank you for saying that, but it's the tip of the iceberg. What I give you guys for free is nothing.
That's what you heard me say. This is all for free. All this is for free. You give a lot of information, more than many people share bits and pieces, but not the hows. And I always say they tell you so much, but you don't get the how.
And you're not supposed to for free. You're not supposed to. If you haven't invested, that's why you're not getting it. The universe is not going to give it to you. God's not going to give it to you because you need to invest. I'm not talking to you. I'm just saying,
okay.
For those of you who feel like you're like, I'm stuck, I don't get it, you won't pay for it. Pay for it.
But I thought I was paying for it, to be honest with you. Every time when they go to the next level, say go to the universe and pay additional $15,000 and so forth. I realize now how valuable that can be, and not all aspects, but in many cases.
But and if they vetted themselves and the system works and they're not teaching mainstream stuff, absolutely do it. But look at the the scorecard a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, when you learn the rules of the end game, you'll learn you don't have to go into fixing and flipping. That's the last thing you need to do to make 50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to put a lot of money down on a property or work with a realtor or a lawyer, or it doesn't cost anything to do this. You'll have it, but if anything, position yourself as a lender. So it's also doing the right stuff, not just doing stuff. But let's say you made a mistake and you hired the wrong person. So what? Write it off.
And that's the part I told you. I wasn't putting my education. I wasn't writing off my education. The money I invested in those. I share that with you.
You can go back for 3 years and amend if you need to do that. But there's also because technically, if you get the wrong accountant, they're going to tell you can't write off your real estate education.
That's what they told me. That's what they said.
It's true, but there is a way to do it that I teach you. And you can make it as a startup cost, but you have to use a certain code and you have to structure yourself a certain way. That's what I teach you in the end game. So no, you cannot write off your courses unless you do it the way I teach you. And I didn't make it up. It's just how wealthy people learn to do stuff. They just don't teach it mainstream. So your average CPA is going to tell you, I don't know what you're talking about. You can't write off a business. That's like they'll say, that's like starting a restaurant and wanting to write off the equipment because you bought some pots and pans. You can't write off anything until you actually make a restaurant food sale. Mm-hmm. I say BS. That's wrong. If you do it, mainstream way, you're right. You can't. But I'm sorry. That's wrong information. And so that's what you're going to learn. The sexy part of how to set up and run a streamlined, effective, profit-producing business. And then you're going to back up and do it without costing you a lot of time, money, and energy. Mm-hmm. It'll position you as a lender, not a landlord. You can do this in little 90 days to 12 months, depending on your mindset, period. And be done with working. Be done. And I'm not exaggerating.
Now you just said that's in the end game?
That's the mastermind we're going to do the second week in June.
Okay.
I'm going to show you I'm going to outline it for you. And that day I'm going to teach for 10 minutes. You're going to do. I'm going to teach you how to do it, and you're going to do it. Because all of it, you can do it by yourself. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need to, hire an accountant or nothing to do I'll show you exactly what to do. Once you're structured properly, you have your contemporaneous written documentation. You put your forms in place. You get your tracking system done. You just restructure how you earn your money, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. And I will show you how to connect with your contacts to reframe your services and charge what you're worth. And you'll make money from people who, you've been around them a whole time. You just didn't know how. So anyway, thank y'all for coming online, hanging out with me. It's been an hour. Huh?
Thank you. And I thank all of you.
Okay. Well, I'm happy I could be of service. And again, thank you guys for showing up. That's why I keep my group. So for the lurkers in the group, I hope you understand that the value is in showing up for people other than just yourself. Somebody needs you in here. So when you just lurk and come and listen to stuff and go back to your little corner, it's not helpful. So for those of you who show up and are regular contributors and are there, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Greg?
successful night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.